blowing the horn, they're not waiting, they're not concerned of who is coming, and they no more think that life is worthwhile living.
Okay, and what is the result of that? What are we seeing happening?
Because of this, we have what is called too much road rage, and too many persons are losing their life.
Have you seen that increasing over the years, and what do you think is accounting for that?
Again, I'm saying that because persons have become selfish, not being equipped or understanding the road, the rules and purpose of the road, educating our drivers on the rules and purpose of the road. For instance, if you ask these young people that are on the road today, what is the speed limit? The very simple thing is, what is the speed limit?
But then that's part of your regulation?
Yes, but then, could I ask you, what is the speed limit?
I think it's 30 miles an hour.
Good.
That's correct, right?
Yes.
Right. But then how does that translate to, because sometimes you're on the road, and I've done it, you're driving at this 30 miles an hour, and it's like, oh, it's forever, you're crawling on the road.
I tell you, that is very
So
nice.
is it that speed limit is realistic for the type of vehicles that we now have and what's happening? Do you think it's realistic?
Yes. All you have to do is to deal with a little word called time.
Right, tell us about that.
Time is important in everything we do. A little word, because here it is. You need to get to work for 7:45.
Right.
You are living, let me say, Cinnamon Hill.
Well, you know, everywhere in Tobago is about 5 minutes from work.
Good. And so because it's 5 minutes from work, you take advantage of the time.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that advantage of the time that you would have taken, now think of when you go down the road and there's let me say, a collision somewhere along the,
Right. Yeah.
on the road. That 5 minutes. Now you have to get there for 7:45, very important. 5 minutes gone. What are you going to do next?
I
I tell you
suppose
what.
drive a little faster.
Speed. You start making speed.
Yeah.
And the risk of speeding, what? You are now threatening your life,
Right.
the life of other persons on the road, the lives of my little sheep that is crossing the road, or my little...
But you know your
pumpet.
sheep not supposed to be
No, actually,
crossing.
I walk over my pumpet, but because
Yeah.
of you speeding, I start to run.
Okay. All right. So
Right.
you're saying that time and managing your time is
And managing
important.
time is very, very important.
What else is important in ensuring that you drive safely on the road?
Knowing your vehicle, knowing your whole management of life. Again, I'm saying thinking is important. Thinking is important.
Well, you know, we think, but it's what we're thinking about. I may be
am-
thinking that, hey, I need to get there quickly. I may be thinking, listen me, but who are these people just driving slow on the road and blocking me? What do we need to think about? What's important?
The important part of
Yeah.
that is that where I'm going, is it so important that I could go without risking the life of others and myself?
Right.
Is it ever so important that when I'm going, I'm risking my life and the life of other people?
So it's the value of life
The value of
that
life,
we need to think about.
very much.
Very important. So our time, managing our
Managing
time,
time.
and valuing life. Is there anything else that is critical in ensuring that we operate safely on the road?
Knowing the traveling distance or the following distance,
Yeah.
because a number of persons feel that if I drive at 100 kilometers
Yeah.
and get there, I am, I'm a bus driver, I'm good,
Right.
right? But this is not all to it. You only happen to get through there because you challenge it and someone avoid you getting into collision.
Right.
That person who would have done that,
Yeah. So it's important that you take responsibility for your own driving.
That's right.
And not
That's
just
what
expect everybody to give you way.
Okay.
All right. I see you have an interesting little gadget on this side here. That we tend to have a lot of accidents around this little gadget here.
Yeah, the simple red.
Yeah.
Here I have here, it's the traffic lights. And it works, it is an official traffic light, right? So a number of people do not understand this.
Right, yeah. What does that mean?
Okay, here is the amber light. Now the amber light, a lot of people take advantage of running through an amber light.
Yeah.
Let me say that amber light tells you, slow down, proceed with caution. It even says to you to stop.
So it doesn't mean, listen me, I'm going to get a red, so I better get through there as quickly as possible.
No, he's telling you, stop.
But you know, some people calculate the time and know that, listen me, I have, how much seconds it have before it changes to red? I have just a couple seconds. And so if I get up fast, I'm almost there, but if I get up quickly, I can actually get through before it turns to red, because there's a little pause after also, right?
Green doesn't always mean that you should run through there with your car. Eh?
No?
No. Before you do this, you should really give that 2-second thought of moving before you pass. For instance, someone would have been coming down, right? And the light would have changed to green, to red.
Yeah.
Just that 2 seconds. But already that person will come in.
On green. Yeah.
The light changed to red. What are you going to do? The light changed to green.
Pray that
soon
I have
after.
good brakes, I suppose.
You get to the brakes.
Pray that I have good brakes.
And if you fail, who gets the glory? I tell you who gets the glory. They'll go. They'll go. You know what? Sometimes because you are traveling on green,
Yeah.
and approximately 100 feet away, you would have seen that green. The light turned to red.
Yeah.
What are you going to be seeing? Steady green.
Green. Yeah.
Steady green. Because the eyes remain still green.
Right.
But this one said, welcome to Belgrove. At all times,
Right.
even though light is on green, when it changes from red, amber to green, it is important that you take that 2 seconds before you move.
So you have seen more and more persons now coming forward to learn about defensive driving?
Well, it's not very much, but I'm looking forward that persons going to put themselves more to learn of this defensive driving or driving education. I changed it from defensive driving. I tell you why. The reason I moved that word from defensive driving is that when they say defensive driving, some people think, well, look, man, you could come and make a 360. You could come and, but no. I want to educate persons on simple, these little people.
Right.
Right?
Okay, so it's understanding the whole process of being a licensed driver and how you operate on the road.
Yes.
Do you think that this is something that should be mandatory?
Yes. I believe it should be mandatory.
Okay.
I believe that traffic safety education should be mandatory. You know what? Just this morning, I have sent a letter on to the Commissioner of Transport.
Right, okay.
Just this morning, I sent a letter on to the Commissioner of Transport asking him to make this thing mandatory.
Okay, all right, excellent. Now as we wrap up here, any final words you would want to say to drivers on the road in order to ensure that we're safer, that we're reducing the number of accidents that we currently have?
And I want to say to all Trinidad and Tobago that safe driving saves lives. A good driver contributes to plenty debt, giving Mr. Belgrove a good business. Because I have realized that Good drivers learn to speed. And when they learn to speed, they do get into collision. Some come out alive and some went on. So I'm saying to drivers, traffic safety education, why not come and take at my place? I'm here available every day. As long as you can do it, you want to get yourself a little more informed on driving safety, Johnson Driving School is available to do such course for you.
Okay. So you're saying don't be a good driver, be a safe driver.
Safe driving is what we need to do.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you
it's been
for
a
coming.
pleasure chatting with you.
And let me say thank you.
Hi, welcome back to Tobago CSI. In this episode where we looked at road safety, it was a very critical one. When we looked at the increasing amounts of road accidents, deaths, when we saw some of those vehicles and the conditions they were in, right? You know, it's important for us. We felt it is important for us to leave these very important tips with you in terms of road safety. What are some of the tips that stood out to you, Anne-Marie?
Well, you know, I remember the power check. And it stands for the acronym, and daily, no, not daily, every week, at least once a week, you should conduct a power check on your vehicle. Petrol,
Oil,
water,
electrical,
and rubber.
And
Rubber.
rubber, yes.
Yeah, that's important. At least once a week, do the power check on your vehicle to ensure that your vehicle is roadworthy and you won't have any problems.
And you know, we talk about the speeding. I know sometimes it might be difficult, but it's important for us to pay attention to the speed limits, as well as to be courteous.
Well, yes, courteous in that sense. Or shout out to people on the road and that kind of thing. Understand that everybody makes mistakes sometimes, and that you should not cut people off on purpose, especially if they're trying to overtake. Allow them to come into the lane.
But what about when you're going to the lines and you're on the phone and you're driving? Yeah, George, which corner?
No. You have to maneuver your corners smoothly and ensure that you observe the proper safe distance. Oh, that's one I remember. The 2-second rule.
Yes, that 2 seconds rule.
So you must always ensure that you're at least 2 seconds behind the vehicle that is in front of you.
What about when it's raining?
4 seconds, increase it. But you know, there is a way to know whether that you are 2 seconds or not. It means that the vehicle that is in front of you, you should at all times be able to see the bottom of the rear tire.
Really? I missed that one.
Yep.
Okay.
Even when you're in traffic.
Okay.
And in a line of traffic going on, make sure that you can see. When you stop, you're going to move off. You can see the bottom of the rear tire of the vehicle. So when you move off, you already have that 2 seconds.
But you know, to avoid the cell phone use thing and thing when you're driving too, it's important for us to plan our trip before. So I do have to be, you know, sudden stops. I need to know very clearly where I'm going. Get clear direction.
But you know, that rule probably didn't take into consideration more mature people. Because I don't we forget all the time. You know, you leave to go down the road, but then you remember, oh gosh, I'm supposed to go by the gas station. So you just make a quick turn and you're going by the gas station.
That is why we need to be cautious when we're doing these things. Remember, you're not alone on the road, so you have to pay attention and consider the other drivers on the road.
You know, this driving thing really is serious. You know, there are traffic lights there for a reason. Red means stop. You know, amber means slow down. No. It actually means slow down.
Okay.
You know, make sure the road is safe if you have to proceed, because you know that coming up after the amber light is stop.
Yeah.
So you have to stop when it says stop.
So Vioshi telling me at 12 o'clock in the night or 12:30, I must stop by a light that I feel is unsafe.
And no other vehicle behind you? Yes, you have to stop. And not only the traffic lights, you know, sometimes the roadway have a sign that says stop.
Right.
It doesn't mean pause. It means you have to physically stop. But you know, sometimes a vehicle may be coming down the road thinking they have the right, or knowing that they have the right, or we are not paying attention to you, and you get yourself in serious trouble.
That's it. What about, you know, well, I feel I don't really like AC much. So I will have my glass down. But certain times of the night, in terms of safety, it's important that you wind up your glass and you lock your vehicle. Once you're in there, well, we know about the seat belts. I don't think we have to talk about the seat belts.
No, we should not have to talk about the seat.
Right.
But you know, I believe they should have seat belts in the front and in the back too, that you have to buckle up everywhere.
Right.
Because the kinds of accidents that we are seeing now, everybody is affected. And remember, it's your personal safety that you're looking out for here.
Yes.
You know?
And we also heard about the parking. Don't park close to dark areas and then with walls. And you know, it's important, even when you're going to your vehicle, that you have your keys. You don't want to be getting, you're coming from a function in a dark area, you're digging in your pocket because you're now looking. Think safety. You go into your car, have your vehicle, your car keys in a place that you can access it
quite easily.
But
then, you know, something else struck me the other day. I driving down the road and I noticed this car kind of too close for comfort. And I turned so, and the car turned too. I go down the street a little bit and I make a left turn and the man make a left turn too. So what am I supposed to do in that time? I wanted to come out and give him a piece of my mind.
We will want to as human beings. But as we were cautioned, it's important for us to drive to the nearest police station for safety.
Yeah. And another thing that annoys me a lot, Ato, especially when you're driving at night, some drivers not considerate at all. They put on these bright lights.
Yes, that's the truth.
And not just that, but they're flicking them, all kind of fancy thing. You're not sure if the indicator is an indicator because it's the wrong color totally.
Yes.
And then it keeps blinking all the time, so you're not quite sure when they're going to turn.
And you know, that is why when we're driving at night, we need to be more cautious, because even sometimes pedestrians are not easy to see. Somebody might be going to some party, they're dressed in all black. Talking about parties, when you park in secluded areas because you have no choice, man, woman and child, it's important. Don't feel shame, fellas. Let your partners walk to the vehicle with you. Even if you have to take them, because you never know. And make sure if you're by yourself, you really don't know nobody. You fall out with your friends and you're going to the car alone. Make sure and watch around your vehicle before you get in. Observe it before you get in.
And you know, if you had two to drink, or a little more than two, be sure that you have a designated